An emergency meeting at Voss Tech headquarters. A single father is mopping the floor, trying not to disturb anyone. Young CEO Clara Voss has just humiliated him for stepping over a cable. She says coldly, "Maybe we should clean slower and think faster?" The whole room laughs. Suddenly, Jack, the janitor, who has been silent all this time, walks right up to the conference table, picks up her laptop, and smashes it hard on the floor. Everyone screams. She looks at him in shock. "Are you crazy?" Jack looks straight at her, his voice calm. "No, but your father's classified files were frozen." Jack Rowan is 40, a single father, a part-time janitor at Voss Tech headquarters. But 6 months ago, he was a senior technician in their engineering department, earning a good salary, respect, and a future. Then the company restructured, cut the budget. They said, "It's nothing personal." Jack lost his job, lost his benefits, lost everything except the only thing that mattered, his 10-year-old daughter, Ella. Now he scrubs floors in the same building where he once designed systems. He wears a gray uniform instead of a lab coat. He ducks his head when former colleagues pass by, pretending not to see the pity in their eyes. At night, he can't sleep. He lies awake thinking about bills, rent, Ella's school supplies, her winter coat that's too small. Now he needs to buy a new one, but new coats cost money, and a janitor's salary barely covers food. But Jack keeps a secret, a small USB flash drive, always in his pocket, always close. Engraved on it are 3 letters. RDU Research Division Unit 7. His wife gave it to her 5 years ago, 3 days before she died. She worked at the Voss Tech plant, creating prototypes, testing new equipment. She was brilliant, careful, and loved her job. One morning, there was an explosion, killing 7 workers. The company called it an accident, an equipment malfunction. Tragic, but inevitable. They paid compensation, sealed the records, and moved on. But Jack's wife knew something was wrong. She told him the designs were flawed. She told him management knew. She told him they covered it up. She copied the files. Actual engineering reports, safety warnings that were ignored, emails from executives who put profits before people. Then she was gone, and Jack was left with a USB drive full of evidence. Video files, internal emails, engineering reports that should never have left the building. For 5 years, he carried that burden. 5 years he kept silent because he had Ella, because he needed to survive, because standing up to a multi-billion-dollar corporation meant losing everything he had left. He tried to contact a lawyer once. The lawyer reviewed the evidence, said it was irrefutable, that they could win. Then Voss Tech legal team showed up, threatening lawsuits, threatening criminal charges for theft of company property. The lawyer dropped the case. Jack returned home, hugged his daughter, and decided that her safety was more important than revenge. But today, things are different. There's an emergency meeting at Voss Tech tonight. Something about a data breach, internal security issues, and the new CEO, Clara Voss, is panicking. Clara is 31, the founder's daughter. She inherited the company after her father died 2 years ago. She's cold, demanding, and suspicious of everyone she trusts. No one trusts anyone. She pushes everyone harder than they can handle. Executives fear her, employees avoid her. But when Jack looks at her, he sees something else. Someone who carries her father's legacy like a curse. Someone desperate to prove she's worthy of this chair. Someone who has no idea what her father really did. Someone who might actually care about the truth, if she ever sees it. Jack finishes mopping the floor in the hallway outside the boardroom. Through the glass doors, he sees Clara at the head of the table, 12 executives around her laptops, their faces tense. He checks his phone. A text from Ella. "Dad, when will you be home? I made dinner." He smiles and texts back. "Soon. Honey, save me some." Then he puts the phone away, touches the USB drive in his pocket, takes a deep breath, and tucks the boardroom cleaning card into the room. Because sometimes you can't keep quiet anymore. Sometimes the weight gets too heavy. Sometimes you need to break something for people to see. Tonight, Jack Rowan stops being invisible. Tonight, he becomes the man his wife believed he could be. Jack wheels his card into the boardroom. The executives barely look at him. To them, he's furniture, background noise, a man in a gray uniform who exists only to make their space cleaner. Clara says, "We need to identify the source of this leak before it gets to the press, if our competitors get access to it." She stops, looks at Jack, narrows her eyes. "Can you hurry?" Her voice cuts through the room like glass. Some of us are saving the company. Laughter rolls across the table. One of the executives, a man in an expensive suit, leans back in his chair. Could he be the source of the leak? Clara. Corporate espionage through the janitors. More laughter. Jack says nothing, kneels, and begins wiping the floor in the corner, keeping his head low but his jaw tense. His hands move slower than usual. Clara continues her presentation, flipping through the slides, talking about damage control, protecting shareholder value, maintaining the company's reputation. Jack listens to every word like a knife. Reputation. As if this company had any left. 10 minutes pass, then someone makes a mistake. The executive to Clara's right reaches for the coffee. His elbow catches the rim of the cup, and it tips over. Black coffee spills across the table. People jump back. Papers are soaked. The liquid rushes to the edge, straight to Clara's laptop. Jack reacts instinctively, stands up, moves quickly, grabs a towel, but he's too late. Coffee drips onto the keyboard. Clara curses, picks up the laptop, shakes it. Unbelievable. She glares at the executive who spilled the coffee, and then at Jack. Well, are you going to put this away, or just stand there? Jack steps forward, wipes the table, sips coffee, but his gaze is glued to the laptop screen. It's still on, and the open file makes his blood run cold. The title of the document, Unit 7 R&D Incident Report, Final Edition. His heart is pounding. This file shouldn't exist. This file should have been deleted years ago. He looks at the screen, at the paragraphs, at the dates. March 2020, the month his wife died, but the words are different now, changed, edited, rewritten to hide the truth. Clara is still saying, "Bring it here. I need this laptop cleaned and backed up immediately." Jack's hands freeze. His thoughts race. Will she send this file? Will it be copied to the company's servers? Will it become an official document? Then the real report will be gone forever. Proof of his wife's death will be gone. He looks at Clara, at the woman who has no idea what her father did. The woman is about to erase the last evidence of the crime, and something inside him breaks. He straightens. Clara notices it. Jack walks slowly and deliberately to the head of the table. Now all the executives are watching him. Clara frowns. "Sorry, you need to leave." Jack doesn't leave. He approaches the table, looks at the laptop, at the lie on the screen. His voice is quiet and calm. "Don't touch that." Clara blinks. "What did you just tell me?" Jack doesn't answer. He picks up the laptop, holds it with both hands, and throws it hard to the floor. The sound is deafening. Plastic cracking, glass shattering, metal bending. Someone screams. Clara stumbles back, her face pale with shock. "Are you crazy?" The executives jump to their feet, shouting and clutching their phones. Jack stands over the shattered laptop, his chest heaving, his hands shaking, but his voice calm. "No." He's looking straight at Clara. "But your father's secret files." The room goes silent. Clara looks at him, her mouth opening and closing. Who are you?" Jack takes a USB drive from his pocket, holds it up so everyone can see the letters carved into the metal, R and Y7. "My name is Jack Rowan." His voice is even and strong now. 5 years ago, my wife died at your plant along with 6 other people." Clara's face turns pale. "Your father called it an accident, but it wasn't. It was negligence. It was a cover-up. And the file you were about to send." He points to the shattered laptop. "It was a false report, the one designed to protect this company's stock price, the one that erased the true cause of the explosion." The room goes silent. Clara's hands are shaking. I don't understand." "Will you understand?" Jack's voice is cold now. "Finally, because I can't stay silent anymore." The guards burst inside. 2 doors. The guards grab Jack's arms, but he doesn't resist. He looks at Clara one last time and says, "Before you fire me, see what was really inside." The guards tighten their grip on Jack's arms. Clara is still looking at him. Her face is pale, her hands are shaking. "Let him go," she says quietly. The guards hesitate. "I said let him go." Her voice grows stronger, she orders. They release Jack, but remain close, ready to grab him again. Clara steps forward, looks at the USB drive in his hand. "What is this?" Jack asks. "It's true," he says. "It's true. Your father hid it for 5 years," says one of the executives, an older man with gray hair. "Clara, don't listen to this. He's clearly unstable." "Call the police," she says. But Clara raises her hand. "No, I want to hear it." She looks at Jack. You said your wife died in a planned explosion 5 years ago, on March 20th, 2020, Jack says. 7:43 a.m. Department 7. Research. Clara's eyes widen slightly. She remembers that day. She was 26, still working in marketing. Her father called her into his office, told her there had been an accident. He told her it was. She was told never to speak about it publicly. The official report said there was an equipment malfunction, Clara says carefully. The official report lied. Jack holds up the USB drive. May I? Clara asks. Clara gestures to the projector at the back of the room. Show me. Jack approaches the equipment. His hands are steadier now. He has waited 5 years for this moment. He inserts the USB drive. The projector screen lights up. The first file opens, security camera footage, black and white. The timestamp is March 20th, 20,000, 11 p.m. Workers are moving around in the factory. His wife is there. Jack sees her. She is talking to another technician, pointing at something on the machine. Then the other technician leaves. His wife stays. She opens a panel on the equipment, looks inside. Her body language changes. She looks alarmed. She reaches for the radio, and then the screen goes white. An explosion. When the image clears, there is smoke, debris, people running, 7 bodies on the floor. The room is silent. Clara covers her mouth. Jack pauses the video. The company said it was a malfunction, random, unpredictable. He moves on to the next file. But it happened 3 weeks earlier. My wife filed a safety report. An email appears on the screen from Sarah Rowan, Technical Engineer Level 2, to Richard Voss, General Manager. Subject, urgent. Risk of failure of Unit 7 pressure system. Mr. Voss, I am writing to formally document a critical safety issue. The relief valve on Unit 7 is not rated for current power levels. I have tested it 3 times. It fails at 82% power. We are currently operating at 90%. I request that unit operations be stopped immediately until this problem is resolved. Clara reads the email, reads it again. Her father's name is right there. Did he respond? She asks quietly. Jack moves on to the next email from Richard Voss to Sarah Rowan. Subject, urgent. Risk of Unit 7 pressure system failure. Sarah, thank you for your vigilance. However, Unit 7 is critical to our first quarter results. Its shutdown now would cost us $2 million and delay the launch of our products. I've consulted with senior engineers, and they've assured me the system is within acceptable risk parameters. Continue working. We'll address this issue in the next maintenance cycle. The room goes completely silent. Clara's face goes pale. No, he wouldn't. There's one more thing, Jack says. He opens another file. Internal memos from executives discussing the aftermath of the explosion, liability issues, dispute resolution, and information control. One of the memos makes Clara gasp. From Richard Voss to Legal, Public Affairs, Unit 7, Incident Communication Strategy. The official report should highlight the age of the equipment and standard operating hazards. Delete all references to the relief valve. Delete all references to Sarah Rowan's emails. Resolve the dispute with the families quickly and quietly. Include non-disclosure agreements. We can't allow this to impact the IPO timeline. Clara steps back, sitting heavily in her chair. He knew, she whispers. He knew and he hid it. Yes, says Jack. His voice is soft now, almost sad. And 3 days ago, I learned he did something even worse. He opened the last file, the document that was on Clara's laptop, the one that was destroyed. It's the fake incident report, the one your father created, the one that erases my wife's warnings. It makes the explosion look less like negligence and more like bad luck. He scrolls down the page and points to the metadata, last modified 4 days ago. Clara frowns. That's impossible. My father died exactly 2 years ago. Jack says, someone in this room was supporting the cover-up. Every executive in the room freezes. Clara stands slowly, looking around the table. Who? Asks the man with gray hair, shifting uncomfortably from one foot to the other. Clara, this is absurd. You can't believe it, Gerald? Clara's voice is icy. How long were you COO? 15 years, Gerald answers carefully. And you reported directly to my father? Yes. But were you in those email chains? Clara demands. Gerald says nothing. Clara turns to Jack. Show me. Jack searches the files and finds a list of emails. Gerald's name comes up again and again in security discussions, in cover-up plans, in settlement negotiations. Clara approaches Gerald slowly. You knew. You knew all along. And when I asked you about that data breach last week, when I asked you about the files from Division 7, she pauses, her eyes widening. You said the files were corrupted. You said they were irreparable. Clara, listen to me. You tried to destroy evidence, Clara says. You thought someone had found the real files, so you tried to delete them from our system, but you didn't know Jack had them. Gerald's face turns red. Your father built this company. I protected his legacy. Protected your legacy. My legacy. Clara's voice trembles. My legacy is 7 dead people. She turns to the guards. Arrest him. Call the police now. The guards move toward Gerald. Clara looks at Jack. Her eyes are full of tears. Why didn't you just give it to the police? Jack asks quietly. Because I wanted you to see the truth before the rest of the world did. I wanted you to have a chance to be better than your father. Clara closes her eyes. A tear rolls down her cheek. Thank you, she whispers. 20 minutes later, the police arrive. Gerald is let out in handcuffs. He doesn't look at anyone, doesn't say a word. 2 other executives are also taken in for questioning. Both were implicated in the cover-up. The remaining board members sit in shock. Some are crying, others are staring at the table. Clara stands at the front of the room. She falls silent. Her face is set as she cries. I'm calling an emergency press conference, she says. Tonight, I'm releasing everything. The real incident report, my father's emails, everything. One of the executives nervously interjects. Clara, think about this. The stock price will crash. The lawsuits will destroy us. The company may not survive. Clara looks at him. Okay, if this company was built on lies and corpses, then maybe it's not meant to be here. She turns to Jack. I want you at the press conference. I want you to tell your wife's story. Jack hesitates. I'm not good at public speaking, and neither am I, Clara says. But we're going to do it anyway. 3 hours later, they stand in front of 50 cameras. News vans line the street in front of Voss Tech headquarters. Reporters shout questions. Lights flash. Clara steps up to the microphone. My name is Clara Voss. I'm the CEO of Voss Tech, and I'm here tonight to tell you that my father was a criminal. The cameras flash like lightning. She tells them everything. The security warnings, the ignored emails, the explosion, the cover-up. She doesn't cry. She doesn't apologize for her father. She simply states the facts. When she's finished, she steps back. Jack steps forward. My name is Jack Rowan, he says quietly. My wife's name was Sarah Rowan. She died because she was trying to do the right thing, trying to save lives, and she was ignored. His voice grows stronger. For 5 years, I stayed silent because I was afraid, because I needed to protect my daughter, because I didn't think anyone would listen to a janitor. He looks directly at the cameras. But tonight, I'm not afraid anymore. Tonight, the truth is more important than my fear. The room explodes with questions. Jack steps back. Clara stands next to him. We will answer everything she says. But first, I want to say something to the families of the 7 victims. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. My father's actions do not reflect what I want this company to be, and starting tomorrow, we will make it right. The press conference lasts 2 hours. By the end, the story is everywhere. National news, international headlines. Vostek's stock price drops 40% in over-the-counter trading. But something else happens, too. People start calling Clara brave, Jack a hero. The board of directors issues a statement supporting Clara's decision. 3 executives resign, and slowly something begins to change. The next morning, Clara enters the office. The employees are waiting, dozens of them lined up in the hallway. They begin to applaud. Clara stops and looks at them. They are applauding not the company, but the truth. Jack is there too, standing in the back of the room. He is no longer wearing his janitor's uniform. He is wearing his old technician's jacket, the one he thought he would never wear again. Clara approaches him. I want you to come back, she says. Not like. I want you, as a janitor, to head up the security and compliance department, to rebuild the entire system so this never happens again. Jack looks at her. I'm not sure I can trust this company. Then don't trust the company, Clara says. Trust me. A year later, Vostek headquarters has changed. A new memorial has appeared in the lobby. 7 names carved in granite. 7 faces and photographs. Sarah Rowan's faces smile, forever alive. In this image, a plaque beneath the memorial reads, 7 in memory of those who died because we didn't listen. Now we will listen. Today is the dedication ceremony. The families of the victims, the press, photographers, employees, community members are here. Clara stands at the podium. She looks different now, softer, somehow more human. A year ago, I learned my father wasn't the man I thought he was, she says. I learned this company was built on secrets and lies, and I had to make a choice. Defend the lies or face the truth. She pauses. Facing the truth nearly destroyed us. We lost 40% of our value. We faced 17 lawsuits. 3 executives went to jail. We almost went bankrupt. She looks at the memorial. But we survived because of people like Jack Rowan, people who. She refused to be silent. People who believe that truth is more important than profit. She steps back. Jack approaches the microphone. His daughter, Ella, is next to him. She is 11 now, taller and bolder. My wife believed in doing the right thing, Jack says. Even when it was hard, even when it was dangerous. She taught me that courage is not fearlessness, but fear and doing what is right. He places his hand on Ella's shoulder. I want my daughter to grow up in a world where companies listen, where safety is important, where people are more important than money. He looks at Clara. And I believe Vostek is becoming just that kind of company. After the ceremony, Clara finds Jack near the memorial. She is holding a small box. I have something for you, she says, opening the box. Inside is a brand new, top-of-the-line laptop. Beautiful, but there's something else too. A small metal plaque attached to the lid reads, in memory of Sarah, who taught us to build up, not tear down. Jack's eyes fill with tears. I know I can never atone for what my father did, Clara says quietly. But I want to try. I want to build something she'd be proud of. Jack takes the laptop and holds it carefully. She would have liked you, he says. You're nothing like your father. Okay, Clara says. She smiles, a genuine smile. That's the best compliment I've ever received. Ella tugs at Jack's sleeve. Daddy, can we go and see Mommy? Sure, honey. They walk together to the memorial. Jack kneels next to his daughter. They touch Sarah's photograph, whispering words meant just for her. Clara watches them from afar. Then she turns and looks at the Vostek building. A new sign above the entrance reads, Vostek Reborn, building with integrity. She takes a deep breath and steps inside, ready to continue rebuilding, making honest decisions one by one. Subscribe if you believe the truth deserves its moment, no matter the cost.